Hello and welcome to another belated episode of Artist Diaries. It's just been the way of things this year so far. I've been spending a lot of time outdoors looking for painting inspiration and then not spending a huge amount of time painting, so there's not been a lot to share as part of these art vlogs. So this is just going to be a nice speedy catch up so I can share some of the lovely wildlife that I've seen up until this point, and we're going to talk a little bit about tiny paintings because if you've been watching these videos, you will know that tiny paintings are my thing at the moment. And I want to share some of the benefits of painting on a small scale with you. I really feel like I'm in my element at this time of year. I enjoy it so much being out and seeing all the wildlife and just the lovely scenery. Hopefully, this video footage is showing you why it's so amazing. I've seen some really nice things so far, and that has meant spending even less time painting because when it's so nice outdoors, I always find it really difficult to make myself stay inside and paint when I want to be out exploring. But one disadvantage of not being able to strike a good balance and find some painting time as well as reference material finding time is that I really enjoy painting seasonally. I like painting the things that you could actually have a chance of seeing at the time because for me it just helps me to connect to nature a bit more, to be painting what's out and about at the moment. And I like sharing paintings of things that people might also be able to go and see, so that we can enjoy the seasons as they pass. And just searching for painting inspiration and not spending that much time painting means that a lot of this stuff is just going to sit on my phone, maybe until next year when we're back in the right season again and it feels a bit more appropriate to paint it. And that just seemed a little bit daft. And so I've been looking for a way to try and paint a bit more frequently so that I can get some of this painting inspiration out there while we're still in this lovely summery season. So, as you know, I have been enjoying painting on a small scale, and I enjoy doing that anyway. So, whether or not this was helpful for trying to paint on a tight time schedule would be irrelevant because I still like painting this way anyway. But I wanted to share some of the advantages of painting on a small scale, especially if you don't have a huge amount of time. Now, I could talk about the advantages of miniature painting for a really, really long time. And I think the best way of going about this is to do this in several videos where we focus on different things in each one. I already have an idea for a tiny painting advantage video for if you are just starting out as an oil painter. So I'm going to save some of the tips for that video. But for this one, I'm going to share a couple of reasons why painting small is an advantage to me and why I enjoy it so much. So let's get into that. Now, the first and obvious advantage of painting on a small scale in relation to what I've been talking about so far in this video is that tiny paintings don't take as long to paint. Now, that doesn't mean that all tiny paintings take a really short amount of time, because obviously they're going to take a little bit longer depending on the amount of detail you want to include in them, but typically they're going to take less time than a really large painting would do. And so when you find yourself with a really busy schedule and not a huge amount of time to paint, then painting on a small scale might be something that you feel like you could manage. I know that if I have a larger piece that I'm working on and I maybe have an hour spare, I'm not going to be as inclined to start work on that because I'll feel like I won't be able to get enough done for it to be worth it. Maybe it's more of a psychological thing. But with a tiny painting, if I have an hour spare, then I could potentially get it finished in that time or just a little bit longer. So I'm more likely to make the time for something like that. And that's been really helpful for me at the moment with really struggling to fit in painting time. A second benefit of painting on a tiny scale is that it can encourage you to paint things that you otherwise might have rejected. I know that's definitely been the case with some of these small paintings. The one that you're watching right now is a 3 by 2 inch landscape painting, and I don't think I ever would have considered painting this if I was going to do it on a larger scale, because there wasn't a huge amount going on in that landscape. There was a few bushes on the side, there was a narrow path down the middle that was just a grassy track. I've enhanced that in this painting, but there wasn't really a huge amount going on, and I don't think I would have looked at it twice if I was going to paint this on a large scale. But because I'm working on a small scale, then this became an option. I think when you're painting tiny, you don't feel like your composition or the painting idea has to be perfect quite the same way. What I mean by that is if I'm going to paint something really big, and I know it's going to take me a long time, I want to know that the painting is likely going to be successful, and that means that the reference has got to be pretty perfect. I've got to be happy with the composition and happy with the idea before I will attempt it, because I don't want to waste my time. But with tiny paintings not taking quite so long, then I don't mind giving them a go, even if I'm a little bit unsure about the composition. I'm not going to have wasted a lot of time if I do this and it doesn't work out. So it gives me a chance to paint landscapes that otherwise wouldn't really get a look in. And I really like that about tiny paintings, because you might uncover an idea that works really well that you would never have painted otherwise. And the third and final benefit that I wanted to discuss in this video is still in relation to the fact that these paintings don't take a lot of time. And that is kind of the theme of all of these benefits so far, is the fact that they're not taking so much time. But another benefit of that is that you might find yourself encouraged to paint more scenes from one area. So what I mean by that is if I'm painting on a larger scale and I've been on a nice day trip out somewhere, I will probably just be looking for one bit to paint because that might be all I have time for. But when I'm painting on a tiny scale, then there is more opportunity for me to paint a whole variety of different landscapes from that same day trip. And that is what I'm trying to do with this small series. I've done 3 of these tiny paintings so far, but I have more sketched out, and hopefully I will find some time to do those as well. But it's made me think about what I actually value when I go out and explore the countryside in this way. And the thing that makes these day trips so special is a combination of stuff. So I don't just go out places to see one thing and that's it. I enjoy the experience of being there, and that there's a nice landscape around every corner, and maybe somewhere you'll see sheep or cattle, or there'll be some butterflies out, or it might just be there's a really nice open landscape in front of you. But the thing that makes those days so special is a combination of all of those little things added together. And I think when you're able to do a tiny series like that, then you're helping to share the story of what makes that landscape so special to you. I'm enjoying painting this tiny series so far, and I'm looking forward to painting more miniature paintings as well. They might not all be in the same style, but I am looking forward to the variety of work that I'll hopefully be able to create. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to find a bit more of a balance between painting and reference photo finding. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the lovely summery scenes and that you like this painting. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's always lovely to have your feedback. I will be out and about searching for painting inspiration again through the rest of the summer, and also looking to paint more things. So I will be back hopefully soon, and I will see you next time.